It's 90 seconds to midnight in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia and Venezuela as the U.S. East Coast is about to enter its final hour of the century.
CNN's coverage of this new millennium this hour features a contrast of cultures and venues in North and South America.
We'll go live to the street party in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas.
And they'll be parading through Halifax as 2000 hits another Canadian province. CNN continues its Millennium 2000 coverage right now.
Upper left-hand corner, Caracas, Venezuela's largest city. The year 2000 is here in 15 seconds.
Time marching onward to midnight in New York's famed square.
In the District of Columbia, Washington, it's 1 hour and counting as President Clinton joins thousands on the Mall.
Preparing to dine, dance, and celebrate in the windy city of Chicago.
These are live pictures of Caracas, Venezuela, where the clock has just struck midnight. You can see rockets going up and moving quickly up North America to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, one of the Canadian provinces on the eastern shore of Canada.
They're going to have 4 parties at the World Trade and Convention Center in Halifax Metro Center, each one geared to a different pocketbook. How's this? The tickets range from $15 to $500.
And as we go from the clearly celebratory picture there, Bernie, in Halifax in Nova Scotia, we go to a picture of darkness, although as Mark Potter told us a little while ago, there are fireworks, but they are fireworks that have been pulled together by individuals, by private concerns. Mark Potter, tell us about the mood in that city and that country that has so recently confronted tragedy.
Well, Judy, we have sort of a mixed mood here in Caracas. As you can see from these pictures, there is some degree of celebration. We are seeing a lot of fireworks now that it is the new year in Caracas. We're certainly hearing those fireworks. As you said, what's interesting about this is that this is being done by private citizens from their homes, from their yards. This is not part of an organized New Year's or Millennium celebration. Those were canceled. The government is not sponsoring any sort of national party. This is in response, of course, to the tragedy you were just talking about. 2.5 weeks ago, this country was hit by a natural disaster, mudslides, floods, avalanches just northeast of the capital, destroyed a number of communities, killed 15 to 50,000 people, left 400,000 people homeless. So that has certainly dampened the national mood. And so while we are seeing fireworks here in Venezuela, many people in this country are not celebrating. They are very concerned. They are worried. They are not celebrating the millennium. Judy?
Mark Potter in Caracas, Venezuela. Quite a contrast to what is happening in Times Square.
Oh, certainly.
Fred Hickman's there.
Indeed, I am, Bernie and Judy. It is an odyssey going on now as you look back behind me. This is going toward Times Square and then beyond to the south there, and this celebration being called Odyssey. You know, Times Square is the home of Broadway. There are some 36 theaters here, none of them, of course, open for business tonight as we have a bit of a larger show going on right now. But I can tell you that we've had basically 24 Broadway productions happening all day long since the pre-dawn hour, this being one of them, the penultimate one before we get into, of course, the big celebration for New Year's here in New York. but I thought I would share with you just a bit of the history of Times Square. This is a place that actually attained the name of Times Square back in 1904. It was then Longacre Square, a big horse trading capital here in New York, and it was purchased by the New York Times newspaper. That year, to celebrate the occasion, there was a little fireworks show off the roof of the building. It became a tradition. In 1907, then we began having the ball drop, and it's been going on ever since, and this is going to be the biggest and the best. In fact, they're saying that this is the biggest single celebration that the city has ever had of any kind at any time. The actual history of the ball drop itself goes back to the 16th century. Balls were dropped usually in maritime areas to kind of give people an idea of what time it was so that they could set their watches and their various timepieces. And so that is not a new idea, but what we're doing here is certainly just a wonderful thing. Sellout, yes indeed, in fact it is. The first time it's ever been sold out for this particular event. When I say sell out, the tickets certainly are not for sale, but there is simply no more room for any more people. People are spilling all the way back to 34th Street behind me here. They've never gone back that far, and then 59th all the way to the north, and we're bordered on either side by 6th and 8th Avenues. So we are ready for the celebration to begin. The balls have been passed out. The Puerto Rican flags, you may have seen quite a few of those, as Puerto Rico is celebrating the arrival of the millennium, and there's a great Puerto Rican population here in New York City. So it's beginning to swell, and we're beginning to get the feeling that something very special is going to happen very shortly. At the bottom of the hour, Mayor Rudolph Giuliani will be joining me. He, along with surgeon Dr. Mary Ann Hopkins, with Doctors Without Borders and also Bellevue Hospital here, will both push another crystal cylinder, which is actually the button that will start the ball down its way. That'll happen at 11:59, but the mayor will talk with us about all of the different safety issues and concerns that they've addressed and addressed very well here in New York City as we prepare for the new millennium to arrive here. And I'm telling you, I know my good friend Wolf Blitzer is expecting big things in Washington, and it's going to be great, but they're going to be hard-pressed to top us here in New York. Bernie, Judy?
We're going to see Fred. Washington, D.C., Havana, Cuba, two political capitals poles apart, but we're going to pull them closer to you through the magic of television when we come back.